Alright, hopefully my mic is set up to where you guys can hear me. Now, I'm gonna be trying to record Maple Mornings again. A few months ago, I tried to record it on the to-go version, but it didn't work out because the audio and video, they were out of sync with each other. So, and I want to record Valentine's Day anyway, and I'm not able to on the to-go version. So while I wait for Valentine's Day to arrive, I thought it would only be right to try again. And just record Maple Mornings using the web version instead. Because first of all, I don't want to have to go through the entire holiday cycle on the to-go version. Plus, that one doesn't even have a Valentine's Day, so... Anyway, so I figured it would be better to just stick with the web version anyway. Because as you can see, if you recognize the little icon over here, I have Flashpoint installed. So that's how I'm able to play the web versions of these games. I generally like to stick with the to-go and deluxe versions, but I do have my reasons for why I want to play the to-go version or the web versions of these games. For example, this game in Papa's Pastaria. Well, they have Valentine's Day, which got replaced with Mardi Gras in the to-go versions. And I want to play through Valentine's Day and record them eventually when I get to it, so... Yep. Unfortunately, this game does get a little laggy, like... Sometimes it'll be nice and smooth, but other times it'll be laggy, and then it'll mess up my opportunity for a perfect, or a 100%, well, and a perfect, but more specifically, it'll mess up my build score, which will prevent me from getting a perfect. But we got one for Johnny. Thank you, Johnny. But yeah. We're still in September, though, so it could be... And I don't play this game as much as the to-go games and the deluxe games, so it could still be a while before I reach Valentine's Day in this and in the web version of Papa's Pastaria. I know you saw the post on Discord, but I'll just say it here too. But I did get to Valentine. Oh, I did get to Valentine's Day in Papa's Pizzeria Deluxe. But I want to say that for after my trip. So when I do get back from my trip to New Mexico, I do I do plan to record it. First and foremost, I do want to record episode 2 of Metopia, but after that, then I'll record the 2 Papa's Pizzeria Deluxe Valentine's Day episodes. Okay, at least I got 100% on the builds station, but oh my goodness, these customers are impatient as... You know what? Now we did talk a little bit about the New Mexico trip a little bit ago. Me and my dad. I do have some bad news, but it shouldn't completely ruin the trip for us. But apparently we will get some rain during the trip. So yeah, it could ruin outdoor activities for us, but my dad told me that we could still do indoor activities. He even said that we may go gambling. And since I have an ID now, I can do that, because you do have to be 21 to gamble, according to my dad. And he said it'll only be for, like, a few minutes. We're not gonna, like, gamble forever and ever. And he told me that casinos are designed to make it to where you lose money, so I don't really have... I'm keeping my hopes low for getting a profit off of the casino if we do decide to go there. And he even said that we'll eat breakfast a few times at a restaurant. Because that's one thing I do like about vacations is, at least when we go with my grandparents, because they do keep my dad on his toes in a sense. A lot of the times, they're the ones that are saying, like, oh, hey, let's do this together, let's eat together. You know, it gives me something to do. And even though the suite at the South Padre Island vacation was pretty good, because I did have, even though I didn't have my own room, I did have my own space, if that makes sense. It's still one room, but there's 2 TVs, and then there's 2 beds, and then there's like a futon. So I stayed in the futon area at South Padre Island. And I got to have the TV to myself, because my dad and my brother, you know, they watch a lot of the same stuff. They watch a lot of Counter-Strike, a lot of sports. So it was only fair for them to share the TV in the bedroom area, and then for me to have my own TV in the living room area. And they slept on the beds, and I slept on the futon. But the condo will be even better because it'll be like staying in a house. There's a patio or a dock area, an outdoor area. There's a kitchen. There's like a dining room, and then there's 3 bedrooms for me, my dad, and my brother to all stay in. For some reason, my arm is sore. Like, if I move it in certain ways, like, I get a pain in it. I don't know what it is. Ooh, Robbie! Alright, hopefully since we have something that the customers can actually interact with, that will help my waiting score a little bit. Because, holy moly, they are impatient in this game. I forgot how impatient they were. And yeah, like I said, when I get back from my trip and I do the Miitopia video, I'll definitely be using that to talk about my trip. My dad wants to have us back home, like, before lunchtime. On, Saturday the 18th. I'm not gonna want to... I'll probably wait till the afternoon or evening or night to record it. Because I'm gonna want to get settled in, maybe relax and rest for a little bit. But afterwards, yeah, I should be able to be fresh enough to do the video recording. $89? Alan, please. Oh yeah. I thought I'd mention this, but I'm not gonna premiere this. My trip is too close now, and I still have 2 more premieres to go, and you and I alternate. Oh no 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 no. You and I alternate between premieres, so I don't have enough pre-trip slots to premiere this, because I rather just have a fresh set of record a fresh set of videos to have for after my trip. Alright, that's a little bit better. Oh. And ooh, alright. Perfect. I didn't I didn't want to really say anything. I kind of wanted to keep it on the down low for now, but apparently. Oh crap, I forgot the filling. Oh my god. Oh well. 90%, you know, I thought it was gonna be worse. Especially with these closers. They're not at they they are more generous, but they can also not be as forgiving than regular customers if you do mess up. So that is something you have to keep in mind. Now I'm genuinely curious because this is our first time of us going on vacation with Nana and Pops since the whole dog situation started. So I'm actually curious about what they're gonna do about their dog Zach. Either they're gonna have to find a pet sitter or they're just gonna have to bring him. Because there's really nothing else they can do. And, you know, they haven't done either of those things since 2024, so that's gonna be interesting to find out. Because my dad has told me before that bringing him along with them on trips will require putting him in a kennel, and they don't want to do that, but it looks like they're gonna have to for this trip. I also heard that putting him in a kennel can be expensive, but why can't they just buy their own kennel? That way, they will only have to pay for it one time and not like every time they go on a trip. But I don't really know how that works. I do know a lot of places are pet friendly. But yeah, I doubt, even after the New Mexico trip, I highly doubt they're just gonna stop with the whole dog situation, so I'm dreading August. Because they're gonna be going to Lake LBJ, which is actually a vacation spot we went on with. We went on with them a few times. 2016, 2017, and 2018. And they had no problem bringing Zach for past vacations we had together. So I don't know why they started to make a big deal of it all of a sudden. maybe this is a controversial take, but people who own dogs with separation anxiety probably shouldn't be going on vacations, especially as often. What? Especially as often as my grandparents do. Oh my goodness, I keep forgetting the fillings. Because it automatically, when you dip the donut, it automatically sends them to the next part of the build station, so it would be easier to just manually send them over yourself after doing everything. But no. On the bright side, I do plan to discuss my discomfort around dogs in my memoir and even in my general book about autism. Because again, there are people who on the spectrum who do like dogs. I don't want to seem like I'm stereotyping all people with autism to be on the or to dislike dogs. But it does feel like there is a considerable link between being on the spectrum and disliking dogs, because dogs can be a sensory nightmare for people. Plus, people on the spectrum can also be very territorial about their personal space, which a lot of dogs just do not have sense of that, especially ones with separation anxiety. And yeah, in my memoir, I do want to discuss how my condition can be attributed to my dislike for dogs. I'm probably not going to play any mini games on screen because, oh my goodness, I tried to play Spin and Sauce, but it was lagging like hell. Alright, let's see. I'll probably call this the first half when... Probably when we unlock all the ingredients and we play through that day. And yeah, I won't be mentioning my grandparents or their dog specifically. I don't want to point fingers in my books because, yeah, that's very risky and I don't want to cause a strain on my relationship with my family, but I definitely do want to talk about the factors and what makes dealing with, even if I'm not going to specifically mention it to be my grandparents' dog, but I am going to talk about the factors as to why dealing with him can be so hard for me, which will come down to my low tolerance to inconvenience, me being very territorial about my space, because the dog has separation anxiety, so he's always in everyone's way, and he's always at everyone's feet all the time. It is very, 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 very frustrating. Oh my goodness, I keep forgetting the freaking filling. Oh my goodness. Stop automatically sending the donuts to... Just let me send them to send them off to this other part of the build station to myself. Or by myself. And yeah. My brother does have to keep his door open when the dog is here because he needs to be able to be around someone and to see someone at all times. And then he can get really chaotic at times, my brother, which can be disruptive. I tried to explain this to my dad, but he did shrug me off. he's very defensive over his mom, aka my grandma. You're probably one. I don't know if you've ever wondered this or thought about this, but you're probably wondering why I never had a talk with my grandmother about this. Well, number one, I don't think she would really care, to be honest, because she doesn't want to do anything else or find any better alternatives. And number two, my dad would get really upset. Even if I just casually bring up that it's hard for me, my dad gets really angry with me, so I want to avoid that if at all possible. But I think maybe talking about it in my book without directly mentioning my grandma and her dog specifically could be a safer way to stand up for myself. Now, I mentioned this before, but I actually do want to write a book about the impact of dogs on society. But that's going to take a while because I'm going to have to put a lot of thought and time into the book because like Ashton said, people could just think I'm just slandering dogs when I'm actually writing about actual facts about them. And it's not gonna. Plus, it won't just be completely just hating on dogs. Yes, I do want to talk about the disadvantages of having a dog. Why people dislike dogs, and you know, stuff like that, but I also want to talk about why people like dogs and offer people some alternatives if they're not in the position to be buying a dog. And to help balance out. Oh, yeah. And how dogs can negatively impact people's mental health. That's going to be another one. But I also do want to talk a little bit about the good side as well. That way, the book doesn't sound biased. You know, I want to. It will help the book be more, I guess you can say, universal, more balanced out, more nuanced. I guess those are the words I'm looking for. I wish I had a Maple Mornings poster. Oh well, we'll just buy this, I guess. And oh yeah, this is a Maple Mornings poster technically. It's Maple Mornings themed, but when I say Maple Mornings poster, I literally mean like a Maple Mornings poster, like with the Maple Mornings logo on it. Ooh, Robbie again. What's wrong, Robbie? What's with the face? What was that? But yeah, that book won't be for a while, but Ashton actually gave me the idea to first talk about it in my books about neurodiversity. And I think my memoir and even the autism book will be the best places to talk about it. Another section that I do want to cover in my dog book is offering people some alternatives over helping a dog, an abandoned dog. And what inspires this chapter is because is the fact that, you know, my grandparents' dog was abandoned. But the fact of the matter is, not everyone is in the position to be owning a dog. Yes, it's good to get animals out of a situation like that, but just taking a dog in on a whim can have negative consequences. So I want to offer alternatives such as taking him to a shelter or finding someone else who could better take care of him. This one is a bit controversial, but maybe putting the dog up for adoption. At least, or just giving it, or like giving it to someone for free. I forgot how fast customers come in this game. I can barely keep up. And I kind of get it. My grandparents are retired, so they're bored and they need stuff to do. But I feel like they should find stuff to do that doesn't involve going on overnight trips. Like, they could volunteer at an animal shelter. They could watch movies at the theater. They could go out to eat. They could go shopping. They could do some. They're extremely religious, like, to a fault. But they could volunteer at a church or other religious organizations. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm against religion in general, but my grandma is a bit toxic with her beliefs. Like, for example, I think she's against LGBT. She thinks atheists will go to hell. So, yeah. It's a bit harmful. In fact, that's another book I do want to tackle way later into the future. Religion is known to be the #1 most controversial topic. So this, along with that dog book, are going to be back burner projects. Oh my god, this freaking waiting score. Oh my god. Alright, okay, good. Finally, this will be the last day. And my dad is still obsessing over the Pulitzer Prize. He wants me to write about my trip when I get back, but I'm just not interested. I mean, I'd rather just talk about my trip verbally. I don't really care to write about it. I have other writing projects I'd rather do. I'm trying to. I tried to tell my dad that I don't want to be an. This was a lie because I still do in reality. But I did try to tell my dad that I don't want to be an author anymore. Because I wanted to see if I could get him off my back. But it's not working. You know, some parents need to know the difference, need to understand the difference between wanting their child to succeed but having ungodly expectations. It's not even a small difference, like, it's a pretty big difference, but some parents still don't understand that. And the thing is, I don't know if I really want to be insanely famous. Because people put so much pressure on you when you're famous and rich. And it's and like I don't think I'll ever be ready for all that. I'm not saying I don't want to be well known and recognized, but at the same time, I feel like people view fame through rose-colored glasses. Like, people romanticize fame, and if I do get to that point, I want it to be a gradual process, not in a short amount of time, because that's just gonna cause a bunch of stress. And, like, I even have it outlined. I have a in my parental guidance book, I do plan to talk about the negative consequences of putting unrealistic pressure on your child. And I have, like, I already have a good list of reasons, or yeah, of reasons of how, like, how it or why, how it's harmful. And I haven't even elaborated on them yet, because again, right now I'm just outlining, because I don't want to get too ahead of myself. So right now I'm just chipping away at my writing projects and trying to outline as much as I can before actually going back and doing the actual detailed writing. Oh. Also, I'm also gonna talk about the pressure society puts on people to have kids. And I want to talk about why society, not in a way where I'm, making excuses, but just in a way to show, like, why society shouldn't do it. But that is a topic that I do want to talk about in my parental guidance book. Because I don't want to just talk about, you know, give people tips on how to be good parents, but I also want to use the book topic to talk about why the societal pressure is harmful and whatnot. Because these people act like they care about children, but they do not. I feel like if people really cared about children, you know, they would only want people to have them if they actually want to have children. Putting pressure on, people to have children, it'll just create a system where people feel obligated to have children even though they don't want to. And then this will just cause resentment, to the child, and the child is gonna grow up not feeling truly wanted. But yeah, that's definitely something else. Is I want to all, give some factors as to like whether someone is ready or cut out to have children or not. All right, yeah. Oh my goodness. I've been doing pretty good on the build score, but it's the waiting score that's holding me back. Anyway, yeah, I think that will be a good place to end it. Talk to you guys later. Goodbye.